Hello, I'm Jerry Coash Jr., President of Coash & Coash Court Reporting. Thank you for choosing Coash & Coash to guide you into the now necessary world of taking remote depositions. For those of you who don't know me, I run the day-to-day operations of our family business. Since the inception of Coash & Coash, we have focused on giving our clients the very best and most personalized service that we can offer. Jerry Sr. and Mary Coash both knew many of our clients personally from being their court reporters. I'm here to lead us into the next generation of discovery, which, due to the coronavirus, has forced us to get out of our comfort zone and adapt to moving forward with technology, whether we like it or not. We all know that the show must go on, and you have cases that need to move forward. As we do that, I want all of you to know that this new phase of taking depositions remotely is not as intimidating as it may seem. There are many tools available to you and to your teams to provide you with the seamless and strategic execution of your depositions. Coash & Coash can walk you through all the necessary steps to make this happen. In this video, I'll talk about some of the things that you'll need to consider as you prepare to take your depositions remotely. Our office staff is always available to take your calls if you have any questions or need help with any of this process. We are here for you. We've been using Zoom for remote depositions since 2012. And since this spring, Zoom has become almost the default way of doing video meetings. So in this video, we'll be talking mostly about Zoom, although there are other options available that we'll touch on. So let's get started. Your deposition notice is going to need to indicate that the depo will be done by video conference. We've seen this done a lot of ways. There's no one way to do it. An easy way is in the place of deposition area to put video conference or Zoom video conference. I've also seen lately clients putting in the place of deposition their office, but we reserve the right to hold the deposition by video conference, so that if you're scheduling a deposition 2 months out from now, we all hope that things will be better and we'll be able to do in-person depositions. But if things aren't and you need to do it remotely, you at least have that option written into your depo notice. The Arizona rules allow remote depositions and allow the court reporter to administer the oath remotely. The federal rules allow remote depositions, but they don't say that the court reporter can administer the oath remotely. But despite that, attorneys have been doing remote depositions in federal cases for years. The way they usually do it, in our experience, is to either put it in the depo notice that this is going to be a remote deposition, and even though the court reporter is not in the physical presence of the witness, that they're going to administer the oath remotely. And or putting a stipulation at the beginning of the transcript on the record saying, we stipulate that the reporter may administer the oath remotely, even though he or she is not in the presence of the witness. So a lot of what we'll talk about is going to be more important for setting up to do depositions from home. If you're doing them remotely from the office, you'll have a few advantages, but at home, you'll need to consider a few more things. Either way, you'll need equipment. So you'll need either a laptop with a built-in camera and microphone, or if you have a desktop computer, you'll need to have an external USB webcam and speakers. Or you can do it by tablet, by an iPad or a Galaxy tablet. Those all have built-in microphones and speakers and cameras. You'll need to have internet service, obviously, and when you're doing it from home, that'll be more important to consider. But either way, wherever you do the deposition from, it's vastly preferred to be able to plug in your computer to hardwired internet as opposed to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is fine, but the further your computer is from the Wi-Fi modem or router, the greater chance that you will have a weaker Wi-Fi signal. And what that will do is cause the audio to cut out or to get garbled, or the picture will get pixelated and you won't be able to see as clearly, and people will say that they can't see and hear you. So if you are going to use Wi-Fi, get as close to the modem or router in your home as possible. If you can, like a 100-foot Ethernet cable would allow you to plug one end into the router and then, route it around corners, behind furniture, into an adjoining room. That way you'd at least be hardwired into your modem, but you could be in another room and still do it if your house isn't hardwired for internet already. You may want to use a phone or speakerphone for your Zoom deposition. And the reasons for that might be if you're taking a deposition at the office and your conference rooms have those nice Polycom speakerphones, go ahead and use that, and we'll show you how to in a few minutes. But those have really good audio, so if it's available, I'd say go ahead and use it. Or if you're connected to a Zoom meeting or a Zoom deposition and people tell you that they can't hear you well, or you can't hear the other people well, you might want to switch from doing the audio through the computer to doing it through a phone. Or if you have slow internet or a weak Wi-Fi because you're far from your modem or your router and you're getting that weak Wi-Fi signal, you may want to switch to doing the audio through the telephone. So you're going to need to prepare your equipment before the deposition. The first thing seems obvious, but unfortunately it's not. Plug in your laptop. That way you don't get that low battery warning a couple hours into the deposition and have to go scramble and find your power cord. If it's been a while since you've rebooted your computer or your modem or your router, go ahead and do that. It clears out the cobwebs. It makes things run faster. Your modem and router, the way to reboot those is to just unplug the power cord from the back of them, let them sit for 30 seconds, and then plug the power back in. They'll take 5 or maybe even 10 minutes to reboot and come back online. So do this well in advance of the deposition. Do it first thing in the morning, reboot the computer, unplug and plug back in the modem and router, and then go get a cup of coffee and wait for it to come back online. Don't do it right before the deposition. Do it well in advance. You're going to want to turn off the notifications on your computer. So either in the Windows or Mac settings will be a spot where you can disable notifications. And same thing with your phone. Go ahead and silence that so you don't get calls or calendar reminders during the deposition that the other participants will be able to hear. If you use LogMeIn or another remote access service at your firm, you're going to want to disable that for your remote depositions. Some people leave a computer at the office and then use their home computer to remote in to that work computer at the office using LogMeIn or other software platforms. And if you do that or have that enabled during your Zoom deposition, Zoom might think you're at the office and it'll look for you on that office computer, not at your home computer when you're at home. So if you have that or use it, just disable it before your Zoom deposition. If the audio that's built into your computer isn't great, either because the speaker's volume is too low, and even if you turn it all the way up to 100, or people just have a hard time hearing you, consider using a headset or a USB speakerphone or wireless earbuds for that. Those generally just get better audio just because they're closer to where the audio is coming from than your laptop, which is 2 or 3 feet away from you. We recommend that everyone do a test with some of our technicians at Coash and Coash before the deposition. So you'll want to do that with the computer and all the equipment that you're going to be using on depo day. Recommend you do it a day or 2 ahead of time, and we recommend that the witness make themselves available for a test with us. That way, if there's any audio or video troubleshooting that we need to do, we will take care of it. We'll spend 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long it takes to get everything running smoothly. And if there's any problems, we'll troubleshoot them and get it all worked out. You want to make sure that everyone, including the witness, blocks out enough time for the deposition. If you're deposing a doctor, you don't want their assistant coming in to the room an hour into the deposition telling them that they have a patient waiting for their appointment. And that happens. So just make sure the witness knows that it's going to be a 4-hour deposition if that's what it's scheduled for, and blocks out enough time for that so you don't get interruptions. Make sure everyone logs in early. If it's a 10 o'clock deposition, don't wait till 9:55. Log in 20 minutes early. That way, even though you've done a test, there may be some kind of small audio or video hiccups that we need to deal with. And if you log in early, we'll have plenty of time to take care of those things, make sure everything's working well. When Coash and Coash schedules your Zoom deposition, we always have a technician from our office that logs in way early, and we just wait for everyone to log in. We make sure everyone can see and hear each other, and then troubleshoot anything that needs to be dealt with. And then when it's time to go on the record, we will leave the deposition, and then you guys can get started. But we'll always be there to help you and everyone involved with the deposition to to deal with any technical things that come up. If you're doing the deposition from home, choose a good location. It should be somewhere quiet, somewhere without interruptions, hopefully where you can't hear the kids or the dogs. You want to have a well-lit location, and what I mean by that is you want the light source in the room to be in front of you and not behind you. If there's a big window behind you, or if the only lamp in the room is behind you, that's going to be where the light's coming from, and so your face will be in a shadow. So if at all possible, you want the light, so the lamp, or if it's a window, to be in front of you so the light's shining on your face so people can see you. You can, if you don't like the way the room that you're going to do the deposition in looks, you can set up a Zoom virtual background, and I'll show how to do that in a few minutes. The witness admonitions are going to be super important for your Zoom deposition. You already go through a checklist at the beginning of your depositions telling the witness how it's going to work, but it's really important to tell them or remind them that they really have to wait until the question is done before they give their answer, because witnesses think they know where you're going, they think they know how the question is going to finish, and they'll just jump in and finish it for you. But you need to make sure that they wait for the question to finish, think, is he or she really done with their question, and then pause and then give their answer, because that'll make sure, it'll help keep people from talking over each other, and it also gives a moment for other counsel to give their objections. So when we schedule your Zoom deposition, you're going to receive an invitation by email, and all the parties will receive this Zoom invitation. It'll have the link to click on to join the Zoom deposition from your computer. It'll have the meeting ID and password, so just keep those handy just in case you need them. If anyone is going to attend by telephone only and not by video through their computer, they can call any of these phone numbers, and they're geographic, so you just call whichever one is closest to where you're dialing from, and then they'll enter the meeting ID followed by the pound sign, and then the password followed by the pound sign if they're just doing it over the phone. If it's your first time using Zoom, or if you haven't used it in a while, it'll need to download the software. So it'll do that automatically, and usually it'll give you a little pop-up window in the lower left corner of your screen that says Zoom downloaded this exe file. Do you want to open it? So say yes. And even after the software is installed, when you're clicking on that Zoom link, usually a pop-up window will come up saying, do you want to allow Zoom to open on your computer? So go ahead and give it permission. When you first join, it'll ask you if you want to do the audio through your computer or through the telephone. The default is through your computer, and usually that's fine. So go ahead and click that unless you know you're going to be using the phone. If you're connected and the audio isn't great, and either our technician says, hey, let's maybe switch to the phone and see if that sounds better, or if you decide the computer audio isn't good, people can't hear me, I can't hear them, then you can switch to doing your audio by phone. The way to do that is in the lower left corner of your Zoom screen is a microphone icon that says mute or unmute, and next to it is an up arrow. So you click on that up arrow and it'll bring up this audio little menu pop up. So if you click leave computer audio, it'll bring you back to this previous screen that'll let you choose to do the audio through a phone call, and it'll give you these phone numbers. You can dial any of those phone numbers from whatever phone you're going to use, and then it'll ask you to enter your meeting ID, your participant ID, and the password. And then you'll be connected to the Zoom meeting by phone instead of through your computer. You'll still get the video through the computer and still be able to see everyone, but the audio will come through your phone. If you want to enable a virtual background instead of whatever's actually in the room with you, next to again in the bottom left corner of the screen, next to the start stop video button is another little up arrow. So if you click that up arrow, you get this little pop-up. So choose Zoom virtual background. That'll take you to the main settings window and to the virtual background section. Now Zoom may have preloaded a couple of default backgrounds, or they may not, and if not, they'll just be this black none screen. So if you want to add your own background, you can Google Zoom virtual backgrounds, and then there will be hundreds of options there. So you can download any of those pictures to your computer, or if you have your own picture that you want to use, your picture of the Grand Canyon or some vacation picture that you've taken. Just know where that, save that picture to your computer and know where you saved it to. And then in this Zoom window, you click the plus button and then add image, and then Zoom will ask you where that image on your computer is. So just navigate to the to your photos folder on your computer, or to your downloads folder if you just downloaded it from a Google search, and then select that image. It'll upload it into the Zoom virtual background area, and it'll apply it to the room behind you. And it'll save that for all your future Zoom meetings and depositions. One thing you're going to want to consider is how you're going to handle the exhibits during your remote deposition. So the easiest and probably most common thing that we see our clients doing is just emailing them to everyone before the deposition, either the day before or the morning of. So email them to all the attorneys, to the witness, if the witness is not going to be with their attorney, and to us at Coash and Coash, so the court reporter has them for the transcript. Or you can send them by Dropbox or whatever file sharing service your firm uses. Just create a shared folder and put the exhibits in it, and then share it with counsel, the witness, and with us at Coash and Coash. You can also use Zoom's screen share feature to put exhibits up on the Zoom screen. So in the middle of your Zoom window, bottom middle, is a button that says share screen. So you'll want to open the file that you want to use as exhibit. So the PDF called exhibit 1, open it on your computer, and then you'll click that screen share button, and Zoom will ask you what you want to share. So you tell Zoom, I want to share this PDF exhibit 1, which I already have open on my computer. So you'll click that, and then you'll click share, and then exhibit 1, the PDF or Word document, whatever it is, will go on to everyone's screens, and it'll be, the exhibit will be in the big screen, and then the images of everyone will be either along the side or along the top, depending on how their layout is. And then when you're done with that exhibit, there's a stop share button up at the top. So you just click stop share, the exhibit goes away, you go back to only seeing the video of the participants. And then if you want to go on to exhibit 2, you do that same process. You open exhibit 2 on your computer, and then click share screen, click on exhibit 2, and then click share again, and exhibit 2 is on the screen. And that allows you to scroll through the exhibit, call out the witness's attention to a specific page or a line. And you, when you share the exhibit, will control what everyone sees. So you'll scroll to page 2, 3, you'll zoom in. The witness and the other participants won't do that themselves. There are some other exhibit sharing platforms that are available, and a couple of those are eDepose, Vtestify, and Live Litigation. They allow you to upload your exhibits to their platform ahead of time, and then it doesn't actually it doesn't send those exhibits to the other participants until you click a button that says introduce exhibit. And those all allow you to put an exhibit stamp on the exhibit in their software when it goes to the other people. eDepose works sort of in tandem with Zoom, so it's just a software to show the exhibits, and then you do the video through Zoom. So people have to have both of those running on their computers. Vtestify and Live Litigation, they have video conferencing and the exhibits all in one screen in different parts of the screen. So like the left side will be the images of everyone, and then the right side will be the exhibits. And those just take a little bit of training to learn how to do them. They're actually fairly simple, but those involve a little bit of extra cost. But if it's something that you're interested in, we're happy to talk to you about them, show you how they work, and decide if those are right for you. If you'd like your remote depositions videotaped for trial, we can do that for you. Our certified videographer will attend the deposition remotely through Zoom. They'll record an image of just the witness, not all the other participants. And if you are doing an exhibit sharing, they can do a picture-in-picture recording where the exhibit shows up in the screen in addition to the picture of the witness, or it can just be the standard head and shoulders of the witness that most of us are used to for our video depositions. The videographer will follow all the normal deposition rules. They'll do a read-on at the beginning of the deposition, announcing the witness in the case, having everyone announce their appearance for the video record. The videographer will start and stop the recording for breaks. They'll announce the on and off the record times. And then you'll get the deposition video from us, just like you would from a normal in-person deposition. I hope this has helped. If you want any more information, if you have questions, if you want your own one-on-one demo of how to do this remote deposition thing, we're available to work around your schedule, and we're happy to help. So give us a call, shoot us an email, and we're happy to work with you and figure out what's the best way for you to do your remote depositions, because these depositions are going to keep business moving and keep us all safe, and that's what we all want now. So thank you very much. Take care.